Chosen One, something is happening to your DNA as we speak. You were born with something special, something they want to change. The question is, why? And more importantly, how do you stop it before it's too late? If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. You have a unique calling, and the answers you need are just moments away. Stay with me as we uncover the truth and let this knowledge empower you. The stakes are high, and the time to act is now. How DNA is being altered without your knowledge. Advancements in technology, often touted as progress, have concealed a darker agenda. In laboratories shrouded in secrecy, programs have been set in motion to modify the genetic code of millions. Without consent, without transparency, they claim it's for the betterment of humanity. But who decides what betterment looks like? Your DNA, the blueprint of your existence, is no longer off limits. Through subtle interventions, ranging from environmental factors to direct manipulations, the essence of who you are is being quietly rewritten. The goal isn't just control over your physical health, but over your very identity, over the spiritual and emotional markers that set you apart. Hidden within these alterations are changes not only to your body, but to your energy, your perception, and even your consciousness. The more you become aware of this, the clearer it becomes. These changes aren't random. They are deliberate, calculated steps to reshape what it means to be human. When you begin to notice the subtle shifts in your life, unexpected feelings of disconnection, moments of clarity that seem to be clouded over, or even a growing sense of restlessness, it's not by coincidence. These changes are reflections of a deeper tampering, something that's been happening quietly and systematically. Many people experience waves of unexplained fatigue, sudden emotional swings, or a loss of interest in what once inspired them. It's as though an invisible hand has reached into the core of their being and started rearranging pieces without their permission. If you felt like the person you used to be is slipping away, or if you've questioned why you can't seem to get back to your true self, you're not alone. These challenges, though subtle, can create a profound sense of confusion and helplessness. What's most alarming is that this tampering isn't confined to a single area of life. It touches everything: your mind, your body, and your soul. The Bible speaks of how our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19, emphasizing that what we are made of is sacred and meant to remain pure. Yet here we are, living in a world where these sacred structures are being altered in ways that compromise their original design. It's not just about the physical changes. It's about the implications for your connection to the divine. By altering the very code that makes you who you are, they aim to dull your spiritual senses, to disrupt the harmonious relationship between you and your Creator. They want to weaken your ability to perceive truth, to silence the inner voice that guides you. In this sense, the alteration of DNA goes beyond mere science. It becomes an assault on your divine nature. However, the process isn't complete. There are signs that you can recognize, markers that indicate this manipulation hasn't taken full effect. Perhaps you've felt a nagging sense of imbalance, like you're not entirely present in your own life. Or maybe you've noticed recurring dreams, flashes of intuition that seem at odds with the world around you, as though a part of you is fighting back. These subtle shifts aren't random. They're evidence that your true self is still trying to emerge. Divine timing often works in ways we don't expect. And even amid this tampering, you'll find moments of grace, times when the fog lifts just enough to remind you of who you truly are. Pay attention to these moments. They are your signposts, guiding you back to your original design and reminding you that the story isn't over. Higher forces are at work to protect you and help you realign. Just as they have their plans, there is a greater plan, one that ensures your divine blueprint isn't lost forever. The Bible reassures us in Isaiah 54 verse 17 that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and that promise extends even to the unseen battles waged against your very being. Synchronicities, chance encounters, and moments of inexplicable peace are all signs that you are not alone in this fight. These interventions, though subtle, carry immense power. They act as a shield, deflecting the full force of these alterations, ensuring that your connection to the divine remains intact. By tuning into these spiritual safeguards, you begin to realize that your original design is not only protected but reinforced, reminding you of the sacred purpose you carry within. This is the moment of self-realization. Now you see that what has been happening is not a permanent change, but a call to arms, a chance to stand firm and reclaim your identity. Many resist this realization because it means facing uncomfortable truths. They fear that embracing the idea of manipulation might make them seem paranoid or foolish. But the reality is that seeing the truth is the first step to liberation. Once you acknowledge that forces have been working to change you, you also acknowledge that you have the power to stop it. True alignment requires not just recognizing the signs, but acting on them. It means making the decision to step into your power and take control of your spiritual journey, no longer leaving it in the hands of unseen manipulators. As you take this stand, you'll find empowerment and clarity. Release the fear, the doubt, and the helplessness that have held you back. Embrace the strength you possess as a chosen one. Trust your inner guidance. Deepen your spiritual practices and allow the divine connection to guide you forward. Each step you take, every prayer, every moment of meditation, every act of faith builds a fortress around your spirit that they cannot penetrate. You're not only reclaiming what was altered, you're stepping into a higher version of yourself, one that is unshakable and untouchable. Trust that the light within you is stronger than anything they could ever do. Comment, restore, if this resonates with you. Your DNA, your being, your purpose, they are sacred and they belong to you. Stay vigilant, keep growing, and let your light shine. You are not a victim of their manipulation. You are a victor who will rise above it all. Why chosen ones are the main target? It's not easy to feel different from everyone around you. Maybe you've always sensed that you don't fit in, that your thoughts seem deeper, your feelings stronger, and your questions bigger. When others accept the world as it is, you wonder why. Why does this all feel so artificial? Why do you notice things others seem blind to? These questions can be isolating, making you feel like you're drifting apart from the crowd. But you're not imagining things. There's a reason you see the cracks in the facade, a reason you feel this pull towards something greater. And that reason is why they have their sights set on you. The struggle is real and deeply personal. You've faced ridicule for your beliefs, rejection for speaking out, and confusion when your path doesn't seem to follow the well-trodden road. You've tried to go along with the flow, only to feel hollow. Relationships have felt shallow, goals have seemed meaningless, and the way of life everyone calls normal has felt like a cage. You've seen their attempt to shape you into a cog in their machine, and when you resisted, when you questioned, when you refused to conform, that's when you became their target. Because you aren't just another number in the system. You're someone who could tear it all down just by being your authentic self. But what you've endured isn't just random hardship. It's part of something much bigger. In the Bible, there are countless moments where those chosen by God faced extraordinary challenges. Consider Jeremiah 1 verse 5, where God tells the prophet, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You, too, have been set apart. Your struggles aren't proof of failure. They're evidence of your unique role in a larger, divine narrative. The very forces that seem to be holding you back are the same ones revealing just how important you are. They wouldn't fight so hard to silence you if you weren't capable of something extraordinary. As you've resisted their efforts to suppress your true self, you may have started to notice shifts within you. Small changes that signify something greater. You feel it in moments of clarity, when the noise of the world fades and your inner voice grows stronger. You feel it in the way you can't go back to the old ways of thinking. It's like you've outgrown an old suit of armor and are stepping into something new. The signs are there. A renewed sense of purpose, a connection to something greater than yourself, and an energy that feels like it's coming from a higher source. These changes aren't coincidences. They're the first steps in your awakening. Behind the scenes, a divine alignment is taking place. While they try to disrupt and confuse you, higher forces are clearing the path before you. God works in ways that aren't always obvious at first, but if you look closely, you'll see the signs. The right people crossing your path, unexpected opportunities that feel meant to be, and a growing sense of peace as you walk this road. In Romans 8 verse 28, it says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." This divine alignment is no accident. It's reassurance that no matter how hard they try, they cannot sever your connection to the divine plan. This realization brings a profound sense of empowerment. For so long, it may have felt as if the world was against you, as if every step forward was met with resistance. But now you see that resistance for what it is, confirmation that you're on the right path. Many people fear this moment because it requires embracing the truth of who they are. It demands courage to say, "I will not be what they want me to be." This is where you must choose. Will you continue to let their lies shape you, or will you step into the power you were born with? Now that you understand why they fear you, the next step is yours to take. Release the fear, the doubt, and the confusion that they've planted. Trust your instincts, honor your intuition, and embrace your spiritual gifts. They can't stop you from rising unless you give them permission. You are chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are ready to take the next step, to embrace your calling, and to shine your light. Let their fear of you be the proof that you're on the right track, and let that inspire you to move forward with confidence. Comment "Awaken" if this resonates with you. Your journey is unique, your purpose is vital, and the time to embrace your true identity is now. You are not a victim of their attempts. You are a living testament to the strength of the chosen. Step boldly into who you are meant to be. The signs that your DNA is being affected. It starts so subtly that you almost don't notice. You wake up one day feeling off, more tired than usual, more disconnected from your surroundings. You brush it off as just another tough day. But then it happens again and again. Each morning, the fatigue grows heavier. The clarity you once had fades further. And it's not just mental fog or physical exhaustion. You begin to feel as though a part of you is missing. Maybe it's your sense of purpose or the quiet assurance that guided you. Something feels out of sync, as if an invisible force has shifted your center. It's unsettling, and yet no one around you seems to notice. They chalk it up to normal life, dismiss it as nothing, leaving you alone with the growing certainty that something is deeply wrong. Over time, these sensations become harder to ignore. You find yourself more sensitive to environments you used to handle with ease. A room full of people drains you faster. The artificial light of screens leaves you feeling unwell. Even foods you once enjoyed suddenly make you uneasy or fatigued. Friends notice you pulling back, but how do you explain that the world itself feels heavier? It's as if your body and mind are tuned into a frequency no one else hears. And yet, the more you try to explain, the more you're met with blank stares or polite nods. That sense of isolation grows, and the weight of what you're experiencing presses harder. You start to wonder, is it just you? Are you imagining all this? But in your heart, you know the truth. This isn't just the daily grind wearing you down. It's something deeper, something deliberate. As you search for answers, you begin to see the pattern. These aren't random events. In Genesis 1 verse 27, it's written, "So God created mankind in his own image." That divine spark within you is no accident. It's your birthright, and now it's being targeted. The changes you're feeling are no mere coincidence. There's a war being waged on a microscopic level. A war for control over the essence of who you are. Your DNA, the blueprint of your existence, is the battlefield. The subtle shifts in your energy, the new sensitivities, even the strange ailments, these are the signs of interference. And just as you were created with purpose, so too is this tampering driven by intent. But as in every story of transformation, this is not the end. It's the moment where the tide begins to turn. Something remarkable happens when you start to connect the dots. The changes that once felt like random struggles now reveal themselves as signs of awakening. That fog you've been fighting through, it begins to lift. You notice moments of clarity, like sunlight breaking through clouds. The patterns become visible. You start to see how these changes aren't just about what's happening to you. They're about what's happening through you. Each strange symptom, each unusual dream, each inexplicable shift is a message. They're not simply telling you that something's wrong. They're showing you that you're stepping into something new. The more you pay attention, the clearer it becomes. This is not just a battle. It's a transformation. Behind the scenes, higher forces are moving. Just as the interference grows stronger, so too does the protection around you. The struggles you faced weren't meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you. In Romans 8 verse 28, we're reminded that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. This means that even the most painful disruptions can serve a greater purpose. You're not just enduring random difficulties. You're being refined. The shifts you've experienced have brought you closer to a state of alignment with your true self. The battles within your DNA are not about destroying you, but about waking you up to who you really are. And as you embrace this process, you begin to see that each challenge was carefully placed to elevate you, not defeat you. But understanding is only the first step. True transformation comes when you decide to embrace what's happening. This is a moment of profound realization. The fear that has gripped you begins to loosen its hold. You start to see the changes not as attacks, but as catalysts. You realize that the very forces trying to reshape you have unintentionally made you stronger. Resistance to change is natural. But now you understand that this resistance has been holding you back. When you let go of the fear of what's happening, you can finally embrace the opportunity it presents. You are not just enduring a process. You are becoming something greater, something that can't be undone. With this awareness, you step into your power. You stop shrinking back from the changes and instead lean into them. You let go of the fear of losing who you were and embrace the excitement of becoming who you were always meant to be. This new version of you is clearer, more connected, and more certain of your purpose. The symptoms and signs that once felt overwhelming now become guideposts, showing you the way forward. You take intentional steps to protect your energy, to nourish your mind and spirit, and to stay grounded in the truth of who you are. You trust that what's happening to your DNA isn't just a loss, it's a revelation. Comment DNA if this resonates with you. Your path isn't one of fear and uncertainty. It's one of empowerment and clarity. The changes you've felt aren't the end of the story. They're the beginning of a transformation that's bigger than you could have imagined. Trust the process, stand strong, and know that you are not alone. What you can do to stop this from happening. It often begins with the feeling that something isn't quite right. Maybe you've noticed the world around you shifting in ways that seem unnatural. The way people speak, the endless stream of advertisements, the constant noise of modern life. It's all so loud, so overwhelming. You've felt the strain in your mind, the tension in your body. You've questioned why it seems harder and harder to find a moment of peace, why your thoughts seem more scattered, and your energy so easily drained. You are not alone in feeling this way. Many people sense it too, but they don't know what to call it. They don't know where it's coming from. You do. You've begun to realize that this isn't just stress or a busy schedule. It's something deeper, something more deliberate. This is no accident. It's a carefully constructed system designed to keep you powerless. But the fact that you're here, listening, means you're ready to change that. As you start to piece together the clues, you see how it all connects. The distractions, the pressure to conform, the messages that flood your mind day after day, all of it works together to keep you looking outside yourself for validation and control. The noise is constant for a reason. If you stay preoccupied, you're less likely to question, to notice, to break free. Over time, it takes a toll on your spirit. You find yourself second-guessing your intuition, doubting your instincts, feeling a sense of despair you can't quite explain. It's as if a part of you is slipping away, and that emptiness is exactly what they want. When you're disconnected from your true self, you're easier to influence. It's a subtle, steady erosion of your inner strength. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You can stop it. You can take back what's yours. And once you understand how, the entire game changes. The first step is recognizing that this struggle is not random. In Ephesians 6 verse 12, it says, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This verse is a reminder that what you're facing isn't just a series of unfortunate events. It's a spiritual battle, and every step you take toward reclaiming your power is a step toward breaking their hold. The enemy relies on fear and confusion to maintain control. They depend on you staying in the dark. But when you bring your awareness into the light, you begin to dissolve their influence. You start to see the bigger picture, and more importantly, you start to see a path forward. You'll begin to notice the subtle shifts that come when you start taking back control. Each time you set aside a few moments for meditation, you quiet the noise they use to keep you distracted. Every time you choose a walk in nature over another hour in front of a screen, you strengthen your connection to the Earth's healing energy. As you pay attention to what you consume, both in your diet and in the media you engage with, you find yourself feeling lighter, more in tune with your inner wisdom. These changes may seem small at first, but they compound. You'll feel your energy returning, your clarity sharpening. You'll start to trust your intuition again, to sense the guidance of something greater. These are the signs that you're not just surviving the battle. You're turning the tide. Behind every step you take, there's a force working to clear your path. Divine intervention doesn't always come with flashes of light or grand miracles. It often shows up as synchronicities, as a new book landing in your lap at just the right time, or a friend sharing exactly what you needed to hear. The universe is always communicating, always providing you with the tools and support you need to move forward. You may not have noticed it before, but it's been there all along. The struggles you faced weren't random. They were preparations. Each challenge has strengthened you. Each hardship has taught you resilience. And now, as you begin to take deliberate steps to protect yourself, you'll see how everything has led to this moment. They tried to weaken you, but in doing so, they've only made you stronger. This is the moment where the choice becomes clear. You can continue to live as if you're at the mercy of outside forces, or you can embrace the truth of who you are. Stepping into your power requires more than just recognizing the problem. It means taking full ownership of the solution. Resistance is natural. Fear of the unknown is natural. But every time you choose to stay present, to practice self-awareness, to align yourself with your higher purpose, You dismantle their control. It's not an easy path, but it's a sacred one. And as you walk it, you'll find that each step leads you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Empowerment comes from action, from small, consistent choices that affirm your independence and your worth. Start with what feels manageable. Spend time in quiet reflection each morning. Set intentions for the day that align with your higher goals. Choose foods that nourish your body rather than deplete it. Connect with people who uplift and support you. Each of these actions sends a message, not just to the world, but to yourself, that you are in control of your journey. With every decision, you reclaim your power. With every act of self-care, you affirm that you are worth protecting. And as you build these habits, they become a shield against anything that tries to pull you off course. As you step into this new reality, you'll feel a profound shift. You'll look back on the confusion and doubt and see them for what they were, tools used to keep you from your true self. Now, you understand that you hold the key. By staying vigilant, by nurturing your mind, body, and spirit, you ensure that their attempts to manipulate you will fail. You are no longer a passive participant in this game. You are an active, conscious creator of your life. Trust in that power. Trust in yourself. And know that no matter what they try, you have everything you need to stand strong and move forward. Comment, resist. If you feel ready to reclaim your power, what happens next if you don't wake up now? The situation may feel overwhelming at times. Maybe you've sensed that something is amiss, a subtle shift that's hard to put into words. You're not imagining it. The world around you is changing in ways that feel unnatural. The sense of unease isn't just in your head, it's in your body, your energy, your very spirit. You might feel more tired than usual or disconnected from your passions. You may even find it harder to focus, as if something is draining you from the inside out. What you're experiencing is not just the stress of modern life. It's the result of a system working tirelessly to keep you in the dark. But you're not alone, and you're not without hope. There's a reason you're hearing this now. You've already begun to awaken to the truth. The question is, will you take the next step, or will you let them pull you back into the illusion? Every struggle you've faced up until now has prepared you for this moment. The rejection, the doubt, the confusion. It was all meant to keep you in a state of submission. They've used every tool at their disposal to make you question your intuition and lose faith in your own inner knowing. Maybe you've felt the sting of isolation, wondering why others don't seem to see what you see. Or perhaps you've faced ridicule for daring to think differently. The weight of these experiences can feel like too much to bear, as if the entire world is conspiring against you. But it's precisely this pressure that proves how much they fear your awakening. If they didn't feel threatened by you, they wouldn't work so hard to keep you down. Scripture has long spoken of moments like these. In Daniel 12 verse 10, it is written, "Many will be purified, made spotless and refined, but the wicked will continue to be wicked. None of the wicked will understand, but those who are wise will understand." This passage reminds us that awakening is not for the faint of heart. It's a process of refinement, of being made pure through trials. When you begin to see through their lies, you align yourself with the wisdom that few can grasp. The struggle is not without purpose. It is a divine preparation for something greater. By recognizing this, you turn your obstacles into stepping stones. What they meant to break you, God uses to elevate you. As you continue on this path, you'll begin to notice subtle changes within yourself. The fear that once paralyzed you starts to fade. You feel a newfound strength rising within, a confidence that comes not from external validation, but from a deep connection to your higher self. It's no accident that you've come to this point. Your journey has been guided, your steps ordered by a force greater than yourself. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you for supporting this channel, and to all our members who make this work possible. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. The best is yet to come.